Hello everyone. Let's start our today's session. So in our today's session I have brought a new topic for you from the chapter metal and non-metal, that is alloys. So you see here what I have written in the terms of alloys. Alloys are homogeneous mixture, or you can call it homogeneous material composed of two or more elements. One of must be a metal. It means if you are mixing two materials, there should be a one metal. Okay, non-metal with non-metal cannot be able to form alloys. Okay, so now let's start the study of properties of alloys. So the first property I have written, properties of alloys are different from those of the constituent metals. Like the metals which you are using for the preparation of alloys, their properties are totally different from them. Okay, so the first thing, some alloys are harder than the constituent metals, means alloys will be harder than its constituent metal. And the second point, steel alloys are quite hard in comparison of pure iron, means pure iron will be soft, but when we will make the steel alloy, that will be harder in the nature. Next is to be real gold is too soft, but its alloy is hard, that is to be usable also. Okay, now the next is to be alloys are highly resistant to corrosion, they will not easily corrode. Okay, now the next is to be melting point of some alloys like solder are lower than any of their constituents. You see here I have written in detail explanation. Some alloys are poor conductor of heat and electricity. For example, nichrome. Nichrome, this is an alloy of nickel, chromium and iron, is resistance to electric current and it is used in electrical heating units. Okay, so nichrome is a wire that is to be used in heating devices, that we have to remember it. Now the composition of some important alloys I have brought for you, that one by one you have to understand all. The first is to be steel, I have written for you, and that is its composition is to be when iron is mixed with little amount of carbon. Here its composition, it is to be of 0.05% to 5%, that will not be more than 5%. Okay, then the steel gets ready, and this is to be used in making ships, vehicles and the buildings. Okay, next alloy of iron, it is to be stainless steel. Its composition, it is to be of nickel plus iron, chromium plus carbon. These four metals, carbon it is a non-metal, carbon it is to be mixed with nickel, iron and the chromium, then the stainless steel get ready. Okay, it is hard and rust proof, it easily doesn't rust proof. Okay, it easily doesn't get rusted. Okay, now if you will see here, utensils like spoons that we use at home, that are made up of stainless steel. Okay, so now uses, this is used for making utensils and even equipments also. Okay, now the next is to be alloys of aluminium, that we have to study. First is to be duralumin. Okay, its composition, it is to be aluminium, it is mixed with copper, manganese and magnesium. Here aluminium will be present in large extent, this is 95%. Copper, it is to be 4%. Manganese and magnesium, that will be present in very little amount, that is to be 0.5 and 0.5%. These are light, strong, resistant to corrosion. Okay, now you have to understand its use, where it is to be used in making bodies of aircrafts, means light bodies are to be used there, then duralumin is to be used, and especially it is to be used in pressure cooker also. Okay, now the next is to be of next alloy, this is of manganesium. This its composition, it is to be aluminium, it is to be mixed with magnesium, and it is containing aluminium. If it is in 85%, then magnesium will be in 15%. If aluminium will be 99%, then magnesium will be 1% only. Okay, now let's understand some other alloys also, but before it we have to understand the property of manganesium. It is light and has superior strength, and it is used in making beam balance, taraju. Okay, now and it is used for making light instruments, that we must have to know. Okay, now next aluminium with the combination of copper, it is to be used in automobiles, means automobiles parts are to be made up of the combination of these two metals, aluminium with the copper. Now we have to study about the next alloy of copper. This is of brass. Brass, it is the combination of copper plus zinc, and this is the composition. If copper 60%, then zinc will be 40%. If copper is to be 80%, then the zinc will be of 20%. Okay, and used for brass is, it is used for making cooking utensils, hardwares, pipes, especially it is used in making pipes and ornaments also. And the next alloy that is very important, this is of bronze. Okay, bronze, this is a combination of copper plus tin. Sn, this is the symbol of tin. If copper will be in 75%, then tin will be 25. If copper will be 90%, then tin will be of 10%. These are two different composition to prepare bronze. Okay, and bronze, it is used for making medals also. Okay, now it is used for making utensils, coins, jewelries, photo frames and statues. Okay, and next very important alloy, this is of solder. Solder, it is of fused metal. This is the combination of tin and lead. Tin will be in 67% and lead will be in 33%. Its melting point near about 183 degrees Celsius, which is lower one, but the melting point of its constituents metals like tin and lead, they are having higher one, 232 degrees Celsius and 327 degrees Celsius, but the alloy, it is having the lower melting point. Okay, it is specifically used to join wires and resistance. That alloy is very important for examination point of view. Okay, now the next is to be of alloying of gold. Okay, as we know that pure gold is very soft and it cannot be used in any purpose, even in making jewelries also. Okay, so gold can be used in the form of alloy. Its melting point, it is to be of 1063 degrees Celsius. It is highly malleable and highly ductile. That we must know that, suppose the question comes in the exam, write two metals which are highly malleable and highly ductile, then your answer, it is to be of gold and silver. Okay, now chemically unreactive, because it almost it goes in the category of noble metal. And the gold content, what is gold content? The quantity of gold in an alloy is called the gold content. Whatever the amount of gold is present in gold alloy, that we call it, this is a gold content. Okay, now one word, most probably you have listened that carat. Actually, what is the carat? Here I am going to tell you. A carat is equal to mass unit of gold in 24 mass unit of alloy. If the actual mass of alloy is 24, then how much amount of gold is to be present? That is to be calculated in terms of carat. 24 carat means this is of 100% pure gold. It does not contain any other metal. So how its composition, it is to be find out. 24 into 100 upon 24, we are having 100% gold here. If we talk about 22 carat gold, then 22 parts of pure gold by mass in 24 parts of alloy. Its composition, percentage composition, 22 parts, that is gold, in out of 24 parts of alloy into 100, that we get it 91.67% of gold is to be present in 22 carat. Let's talk about 18 carat gold. Here 18 parts of pure gold by mass in 24 parts of alloy, means 18 into 100 upon 24 means 75% gold will be present in 18 carat gold. Okay, now let's you have to understand the two new means also. One is to be of red gold. Red gold is what? Whenever gold is to be mixed with copper. Actually the color of copper is red in the nature. Okay, so when red color copper, it is to be mixed with gold, then the gold which comes in front of us, we call it, this is a red gold. In the same way, when we mix silver with the gold, silver is most probably, that is silvery white in the color, so the gold category which comes in front of us, we call it, this is a white gold. Okay, so uses of gold alloy, that is used in making jewelries, in dentistry, okay, electronic industry, gold wires, used in galvanometer. Galvanometer, it is the instrument which helps to detect the presence of current. Okay, not amount of current, presence of current. So here the wire which we used it, this is made up of gold. Okay, and it is used in aerospace industries as a heat reflector. And the next important alloy you have to understand, this is of German silver. German silver, it doesn't contain silver. Okay, actually this is of combination of copper, zinc and nickel in the ratio of 60%, 20% and 20%. And this German silver is most probably used in electroplating and the silverware jewelries. Okay, I think you all have got it. What are alloys, what are their importance and their uses. Okay, that's all for today.